Hello and welcome. We are live back again after a gap last week. We are now running IDRL SAH Championships Season 2, Episode 16 between some very competitive teams out here, UDP versus TRV, Urta Punjab versus Team Rotor FPV. This is the 5th of September, and we thank our sponsors, Beta FPV, One Martian Way, GetTBS.in, Quadcopters, and Zine Drone Racing. We have some interesting lineup today. Also an interesting track, as you can already see. We have a very kind of a bando track out here, and lots of decrepit buildings as well. And the lineup on the pilots, as I can tell you right now, we have two subs coming in from UDP. JK is the only original player from UDP. Anand and Hornet are coming in for Rex and GV respectively. And from Team TRV, we have one substitution coming in for Oni FPV. So as of right now, we can tell you that we are live on both the platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Do tell your friends and family that we are going to experience an amazing quarterfinal number 4 coming ahead in just a few minutes. And the winner of this race is going to join the Hyderabad Hellraisers in the semifinals. Last week's report was that BBZ had to forfeit, and as a result of that, we had one of the other teams jump into the semifinals against ZDR, and that was KKR. So the two semifinals that are going to come up to you are on 12th September, that's ZDR versus KKR, and then 19th September is going to be the Hyderabad Hellraisers versus the winner of this match. And then we're going to have one losers final, and then there's going to be the grand finale on the October 3rd. So we are heading towards the tail end of this championship. Exciting times coming ahead. The competition is getting very fierce now between some very top teams. And let's get started now. As you know, we have 10 rounds on our plate. We are going to carry the same format. Each of the rounds are going to score. Round number 1 to 9 are going to be worth 3 points each. And then round number 10 is going to be worth 5 points for position number 1 and 3 points for position number 2. So 8 points to be taken for round number 10 according to the revised rules in our latest rule book. If you would like to see the rule book, just download the IDRL app and you can get the link to the IDRL rulebook. If you would like to be a part of IDRL especially, just search for IDRL or download the IDRL app from both Google Play and Apple Play. And also you can go to droneracingindia.com. So meanwhile, the teams on the podium right now, the players look set. We are going to start round number 1 after we get another practice round. So pilots, be ready for one more practice round so we can test the final takeoff from the 6 pilots. And after that practice test, we'll be starting with round number 1. So your practice run goes right now in less than 5. Welcome again. We are broadcasting both on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube seems to be a little bit more popular than FB at this point. A lot of viewers we have been meeting on YouTube especially. And tonight you can see we can just revolve you around the track a little bit over here. Lots of, deprecated buildings, I can say, out here. Dilapidated buildings. It's in the middle of kind of a very deserty, rocky area. This is the big tunnel that the drone is flying through right now. Oni FPV, as usual, is in the lead. He has done very, very well, and he's going to be playing some very, very important part for the team TRV. So UDP has to do a very, very good job if they have to keep up with the likes of Oni FPV, DevWeb FPV, and Crude FPV. All right, so looks like we have had a successful takeoff. Now, Let's go with round number one pilots, and your round number one starts in less than 5. There you go. And let's switch modes out here. Let's see whom we are tuning into. We are tuning straight into the eyes of Oni FPV, the fastest pilot, as we can see right now on the stage. He is going through the swiftness of that tunnel, going around another tank kind of a structure out there, and some through holes through some of the broken buildings out there. Another tunnel. This is the longest tunnel that pilots are kind of wary about, because they can get stuck in that tunnel and it can become a little problematic to recover from that place. But for now, Oni FPV is in the lead. Let's see who else is doing fine. Anand. Anand is right behind him. So interesting to watch the competition between Anand and Oni FPV. Anand is doing pretty fantastic. These are the top pilots from both the sides respectively, and we'll try to switch views a little bit to get coverage from the third person view over here. This is Anand that we are following in the red quad out here in the red trail, and fantastic run by Anand so far. He is about 10 gates behind Oni FPV. Oni FPV continues to command the race, putting himself in lap number 3 right now. And Hornet, look at that. And Hornet and Anand are on the same plate right now. The pilots of the same team, they're showing their extraordinary caliber. Looks like both of them have performed really well in the practice runs, and they have got the grip of this track. Let's tune into the first person view of Hornet. We did see how Oni FPV does his first person view, and Hornet FPV is also looking good at this point, but he's a little slower in speed. All these pilots, Anand and Hornet, will have to speed up if they have to really get behind the hot tail of Oni FPV. Let's switch to Anand as well. Anand right now going through into the start gate. That completes his third lap as well. And Crude FPV making sure that he comes in on the third place out there, just climbing over Hornet at the last moment, while DevWeb and JK22 are still to be completing their laps. So let's see what the real-time scorecard is going to be like at the moment. It looks like Oni FPV has taken the lap number 1 in this situation against Anand. So we'll score 1 point for Oni FPV, and Crude against Hornet. And in this case, I believe Hornet has also been defeated by Crude. It was just at the very last moment. So we score another 1 point for Crude FPV. So TRV has taken 2 points, and just in between DevWeb and JK finally is another 1 pointer. So very close competition actually between Crude and Hornet. UDP still has a very good chance. This is just the first round that has opened up, but TRV has gotten off to a fantastic start. It's 3-0 against UDP, the Tigers, the Lions of Punjab. And let's now delve straight ahead into round number 2. And pilots, get ready on the podium, because your count starts in less than 5. Let's tune in straight away right now into Crude FPV, one of the hot TRV pilots out here, and going to make his city and VIT Vellore very proud as well. Dev Web FPV as well, the captain who is of the team TRV. All these players have practiced really hard on this very kind of extraordinary track. Quite different this track is from anything that we have witnessed so far. It's got lots of turns, and in fact it's got the biggest tunnel that we have witnessed at SAH so far. So you can see the rise and fall in the gates that you have to go through, and then this big tunnel that you have to go. Not once there is the tunnel, you have to go through the tunnel twice. So that makes things a little bit more complicated for the pilots. But in third person view right now, Anand and Oni, let's see the competition between them. because it's finally the position for the first lot that we are going after. Oni FPV doesn't look like he is worried too much, and Anand is really approaching Oni, but a little bit still far away from Oni's tail. Let's take a look at the first person view of Anand. Anand is coming on to be a very, very good pilot, very good performer, originally from team Mumbai, the Bombay Brigadiers, and he's right now subbing in for one of the players of team UDP. So Oni FPV has taken the first position already, and between Dev Webb and the other player, I think the sixth player was knocked out. So we'll have to see team TRV still looking very, very good in this position. Let's see, Anand is definitely coming in second, but that isn't going to score him another point right now. Dev Webb is going to definitely finish in third place, as I can see, and Crude FPV is going to take the fourth place. Look at that, another different and gorgeous angle. Look at the length of this tunnel. It's kind of a big, big caterpillar kind of a tunnel, and it can really confuse the pilots. In fact, there are two caterpillars, one on the right you can see, which is a shorter one, and the bigger, the mother caterpillar is on the left, through which Crude just passed by. So that is the position at the moment. Oni FPV, let's score for them on the scorecard. Oni FPV again taking 1 point against Anand. Crude FPV taking his share against Hornet. Hornet looks like he has disconnected for some reason, and Dev Webb has obviously taken the win against JK, who is still to complete his 3 laps. So far, it's a clean sweep from team TRV, all the pilots contributing equally, leading to a score of 6-0 against UDP. That's a fantastic scoring by team TRV. Again, we are live on both Facebook and YouTube. Do let your friends and family know we are in for an excellent quarterfinal number 4. The winner of this quarterfinal is going to meet and compete against HHR, the Hyderabad Hellraisers, in the semi-final round. That's coming up later in the month. And we will now see if Hornet FPV has indeed has lost the session. So we'll wait for Hornet, and we'll start the 2-minute timer for Hornet. Meanwhile, we'll just see what is on the scene. If somebody can give us an update. Hornet, you still there? Okay. So you're joining. Okay, he's back in. We'll set him back to flying mode, and we'll continue with round number 3 coming in now. So let's go, pilots, without wasting any more time. We are now seeing the competition straight up in round number 3 that's starting in less than 5. This time, let's switch to another pilot out here. Let's take off with Anand's angle. And Anand, very, very good pilot. And look at that, who is in the lead. Straight away, Anand is in the lead right now. Early leads can be an Oni FPV. Oni FPV looks like he is disconnected for some reason. Oh my God, and Oni FPV coming back. Look at that, the champion coming in from nowhere. Maybe he started a little late. Not sure what happened to Oni FPV, but all 6 pilots on the stage right now competing head on. But it is Anand right now. It is Anand who is really forcing the field against the other pilots right now. Let's take a closer look at Anand's FPV feed right now, where he is and what he is up to. He'll be soon entering one of those big short caterpillars. That's a shorter one. Then going through the double gate circles around the tank out there on the bando, and coming in through the left into the dilapidated building out there, coming in and into the mother caterpillar. But just before that, he had a little bit of a bad luck. He crashed into that little bit of a gate just before the mother caterpillar, and that could lose time on Anand's hand. Anand is still very, very ahead of Oni FPV. Oni FPV is really backing up over here. Look at that. Oni FPV coming really close now. And Oni FPV is looking like he is going to really challenge it up for Anand from the back. And he is about 12 gates away from Anand. What will be the scenario right now? Will Anand still hold on to his position number 1? Or Oni FPV will come back from behind? Can we see a Jojita Boisikandar out here on the round number 3 right now? Oni FPV looking terrific. He isn't committing any mistakes than he should. But Anand has taken the first position, and that's excellent news for Team UDP. And that will blow some confidence into Team UDP. Oni FPV coming in second, not holding up quite against Anand, who took off really well ahead of the pack and finished in spot number 1, leading and winning round number 3. Then we have DevWeb. Let's see. Let's try to spot into DevWeb. He is into FPV mode. He has also completed, and we are now waiting for Hornet. He's right behind this building somewhere, so we'll try to catch all kinds of possible views. Hornet is having some bit of trouble going through the mother caterpillar out here. Let's call it the mother spaceship. That's a better term. And that spaceship a little bit too crazy for Hornet. But Hornet still trying to make through the final ones, and he was successful. And Crude FPV. Now, Crude FPV also entering the final gate. So the final scoring there, very good news for Team UDP. Anand picking up that crucial 1 point in round number 1 against Oni FPV. And then we have DevWeb picking up the win against JK, obviously. But DevWeb also improved his position. So, and then we have Hornet against Crude. And this time, actually, Hornet won it. And I was saying that from the start of round 1, this is going to be quite competitive. So a good comeback, actually, from Team UDP. They have just lost 1 point to TRV in this round, taking their scoring to 2 points. And the score as of right now stands at 7-2 in the favor of Team TRV. So let's go in round number 4 before round number 5, and after which there will be half time. But round number 4 starts in less than 5 pilots. Fantastic day we have so far out here. Fantastic night of racing happening. And only 4 pilots have taken off so far. Very, very interesting. Oni FPV as usual. Not sure if Oni FPV is trying to tease some of the pilots out here, but definitely looks like some kind of a strategy, some kind of a mind trick that he's trying to play and then trying to come back from behind. Maybe that's going to help him, maybe not. But right now, it's all DevWeb FPV. And DevWeb, and he is the captain, and he is going to lead by the roost in the mother spaceship right now. He is having a bit of a problem. That gives Oni FPV his teammate, and DevWeb saying that, okay, wingman, you can go ahead. Oni FPV taking the burden of positioning himself against Anand out here. Let's see in third person view where Anand is. Anand was quite close, but right now it's all 3 spots for the top pilots out there. Oni FPV followed by DevWeb and Crude. All of them looks like they're competing amongst themselves. That players of the same team are competing against themselves. This is unheard for in round number 4. And we do not want to see that kind of a competition. But right now, it looks like Hornet just messaged us, and he's saying that he was disconnected for some reason. Okay, but Hornet, I think if there is a disconnection, okay, he's in the lobby, but he was kicked out. All right. So guys, I think there was a technical issue with Hornet. He's still in the lobby, but we can only allow 1 trial. Let's scrap this round out for some technical unknown reason. Hornet was in the lobby. But remember, guys, when you have to be in the race, no matter what, the race is not going to stop if you're not there in the race. If you're in the lobby, no matter what, the race is going to start. You have to be on the podium. And if you're not there, you will have to continue without it. You will have to join in the next race. So remember that rule. But for now, we will restart round number 4, and let's allow Hornet to come back in, unlocking the server. Um, okay, Hornet, you can join in, please. Hornet, you can join in now. The server is open. And please let us know quickly once you are either in the lobby or disconnected. That will give us some good amount of idea out there. We wouldn't have to tackle with such a disconnection. So Hornet is back in, and yes, so that is now set to flying. Do not disconnect, pilots. Do not stay in the lobby. As I said before, remember the rule. The race is going to start no matter what. So your disconnection will not be now taken into any account. Okay. So let's go with round number 4, starting now, pilots, in less than 5. Thank you, viewers on YouTube. Lots of support out there for the home team. Looks like TRV and also Team UDP. And let's see quickly where the pilots are. And looks like Oni FPV is having some issue out there. Or maybe he's just strategizing out there. He just wants to avoid the early mess with the pilots. And then look at that. Once he gets his road clear, he is right against DevWeb. DevWeb slightly ahead of him. But as far as the speed of Oni is concerned, Oni FPV, as I said, should be ahead of the pack at the moment. He is right now traversing that mothership Caterpillar and coming back around that turning gate, corkscrew, and then also going through the shorter Caterpillar out there. So Oni FPV is looking really good. Let's see where Anand is, because Anand's game is also quite amazingly improved, and he has really improved his game by not only playing as a sub for different teams, that way he has gotten more experience, but he has also practiced quite hard. And this is the part where Anand is failing again and again, and this is not something that is very pleasant for Anand. So we'll have to wait and watch how Anand gets out of this mess of just before entering that mother spaceship. That's not turning out to be really good for Anand. But on FPV, at FPV view, and he's actually just at the tail of DevWeb. He's a whole lap ahead of DevWeb. And let's see some of the other pilots as well. Crude FPV, on FPV completing and taking #1 spot out there without any hesitation. Anand, a little bit, I think he was having some issue and lost his rhythm a little bit when he got connected and disconnected and kicked out into the lobby. But that is no excuse for a player like Anand, Hornet. So Hornet right now, let's see how far he can go under the belt of his captain Anand. Both of them complete nearly at the same time, and Anand a little bit slightly ahead of the game of Hornet. So doing pretty well, UDP nonetheless, and this is actually going to be quite interesting because, but well, it's going to be just 1 point, as I can see. 1 point is going to go for Anand because, sorry, 1 point is going to go for Hornet because he has defeated Crude FPV, and then the remaining 2 points are going to go for Team TRV with Oni FPV and DevWeb picking up those 2 points. So 8-3 as it stands as we nearly enter into the last round before the halftime. So pilots, just get ready now on the podium. Hope you are all set, and let's get started at the count of less than 5. We're now going to watch through the eyes of Anand out here. Anand, originally from Bombay Brigadiers, subbing in for one of the players, Rex or GV, for Team UDP, and he has definitely given them a good chance, placed them in a good position at least to start off with. But Oni FPV is a man that is really difficult to contain. Once he is in his groove, he just keeps peddling it away because that is the spirit of a champion like Oni. And Oni FPV, keep in mind, he also had defeated the greatness of the Hyderabad Hellraisers champion. That was Aman Virani, the Law. And he comes by a different call sign now. But anyways, he had defeated Aman Virani, and that had given him lots of confidence. Devnath, by the way, has to still ship his batteries, looks like. But nevertheless, Oni FPV right now is still enjoying the lead with Anand. Let's see where Anand is. Anand trying to grapple a hold of Oni FPV. If Anand is a little bit more meticulous in this part of the gate, as he is, and showing no crash in the O and the mother spaceship, again taking some ruin out of Anand. And Hornet FPV, and look at that, Hornet FPV coming in close, enters lap number 3, but Oni FPV is far ahead now into the competition. He's going to finish right ahead of Hornet and Anand, posing them no competition whatsoever. And DevWeb and Crude at positions 4th and 5th. Let's pick up DevWeb from here. He's also a very good pilot. Some of the team TRV pilots would like to see his FPV feed. And he has been gaining momentum with more rounds and championship pressure that he has been handling as well with great maturity. So he has improved definitely as a player. Anand slipping right behind Dev FPV. Look at that, between Anand and Dev Web. It's a close, tough competition that's going on. Who is it that's going to emerge from that large mothership? And it looks like, look at that, Anand just finishing ahead of DevWeb. DevWeb would be certainly disappointed with that performance, and so would be Crude. Crude is usually targeting at least spot number 3rd, but this time he is in position number 5. Not a good news for him, and JK is at position number 6. So let's go ahead and count the scoring for the round number 5 before we take a halftime break. On FPV, obviously winning that round out there in great style once again, and Hornet picking up the win against Crude FPV. Hornet is beginning to really take it all up from Crude right now. Hornet has found his gear, looks like. And then finally, DevWeb is going to pick up the win against JK. So it's quite a gap, but it's not that big of a gap. Remember, there are still a huge 8 points that can be taken in the finals. That's the round number 10. All 8 points are up for grabs. Position number 1 gets 5 points. Position number 2 gets 3 points. So we will wait for that. Quite a good bit of gaming is coming along. And so far, the race has been indeed competitive. UDP has been hanging in there thanks to Anand and the comeback of Hornet. We'll take about a 1-minute break right now. And till then, you can gather your water jars and lemon sodas and orange juices and beer and whatnot, and feel comfortable on your couches or your beds and get ready for the post halftime session. We'll quickly wrap it up. What happened in halftime number 1 for those players who joined in a little bit later in the race. We started at around 9:45, 9:50 p.m. out here, and we saw the rise of straight away. The first 2 rounds was a killer of a round. Oni FPV, Crude FPV, DevWeb, all of them really, 6-0 was the score until round number 2. And then round number 3 was somewhere where Anand and Hornet just began to come in. And that proved to be a little bit more motivating for the pilots from UDP team. And then for round number 4, Hornet, as well as for round number 5, Hornet continued to command his lead and defeat Crude FPV, and hopefully he should be able to carry on that performance. But right now, if you ask me, it's really going to be Anand and Hornet who have to really propel this game forward. If they can break out 2-1 scoring in each of the next rounds, and then they have the round number 10 where they have a huge 8-point gap that they can make it up. Even 5 points if they grab, or 3 points they can grab, it's going to be a very close competition. So another 15 seconds, guys, and you can practice till then. And after 15 seconds, we will be coming back in to start with the post halftime round number 6. Till then, for our viewers joining in late and post halftime, look at that track, beautiful. gorgeously laid. This is one of the most strange tracks that we have seen. We have seen some buildings that are not in good shape, but gates have been made out of it. Dilapidated buildings, and the gate structures are also quite nicely placed in appropriate positions, making for a fine drone racing circuit out here. And look at that. I mean, those two tunnels, the one on the left and one on the right, are the ones that are posing to be the maximum challenge for the pilots. So let's go, pilots. At the count of less than 5, we're going to take on the round number 6, starting in less than 5. Welcome back. We are with round number 6 post halftime. We are tuning straight ahead on FPV this time, not wasting any time whatsoever. Look at that, the speed and the correctness and the accuracy with which Oni FPV is flying. He seems to have really mastered this track. And he's not very speedy also on that tank area. He's taking his time. He's playing it with maturity. He's just trying to manage enough time and spacing that is required of him to keep himself continuously in that number 1 position. Let's switch to Hornet FPV. Hornet FPV just completing his lap number 1, entering lap number 2 right now. Right behind him is his teammate and wingman Anand, and Dev FPV and Crude a little bit closer also. So Dev FPV actually has a good chance to overtake Hornet right now, but he has been toppled over by Crude. Let's switch to the first eye view of Crude. Crude having a little bit of an issue out there, passing through the smaller spaceship, Oni FPV and Anand. This is going to be a great crack of a competition as usual. We find them, every time competing against each other. They are head to head. But Oni having that edge nevertheless. He's about 12 gates ahead of Anand, and Anand are trying to break in somehow. We are trying to view the FPV view of Anand right now. He's also very clean pilot, and his lines are just about enough for him to get into that top second position. But Oni FPV definitely has been going center to center of each of the gates. So we can say definitely that he deserves that number 1 position on FPV. And similarly, Hornet. Let's see what's going on between Hornet and DevWeb. And Hornet, Anand has just completed position number 2. Hornet right now going in. This huge building is kind of an obstacle which we'll have to deal with, but viewing in, trying to view it from different angles. Let's see, we can give you a better view out here. And Hornet FPV has also completed. So it's just between DevWeb and Crude, but we can begin to score this round. Nevertheless, Hornet again coming on top of Crude, and I think it's kind of the same story out here from round number 5. Both Oni and Crude will, both Oni and DevWeb will take their 1 points each. So still not a good news for UDP, but they are still hanging in there, maintaining that 8-point gap. I mean, that's what they need till round number 9. That's all that they need, the 8-point gap. If they are above that, then they hold no chance. But let's see what happens now in round number 7, which is going to start, boys, in less than 5. All the pilots are tremendous performance, as I can say, and these pilots have been masters of their game. Playing in such kind of a track, first of all, you need to be at a very high super pro level, and these pilots also are playing under a lot of pressure as well. Playing for their city is not a joke, and they are representing some of their colleges or the city or their fans. So lots of hopes on these pilots. And under all that burden, they are definitely doing their duty to, and look at that, and Anand FPV right now in the lead. Oni FPV is trying to question himself whether he should overtake Anand at the moment or wait just for that right moment. Oni FPV is a clear champion of doing that. I mean, he comes back at the right moment. Look at that. He'll start coming back in now and slowly start to mount that pressure on Anand from behind. And unless Anand is holding through, he will feel that pressure of Oni. But looks like Oni is a little bit slow in this race. He is about still, covering quite well. No loss of hope for Oni. There is another full lap remaining between Oni and Anand. So both of them are nearly very close to each other, 4 gates away. So look at that, Anand and then Oni coming in around the track now. Anand going through the same pace and Oni following him at the same time. Anand entering the tunnel now. The mothership and Oni FPV should be also following as well. And Anand will be taking and holding on to his spot. Oni FPV a little bit not sure what happened out there. He started on time, but not really the day for him on that race circuit on round number 7. So Anand takes points 1, and that's good news. But it's not actually a good news well, the competition still has to complete, but Crude FPV has already won, so we can record 1 point for Crude against Hornet, and then we can record also DevWeb. Okay, so somebody is disconnected. Okay. So server is open. You can rejoin the race, please. Sorry. You can rejoin the race now. Yeah, you can join in. Server is open. Okay. There you go. Anand is back up. All right, pilots, we have scored you. So okay, yeah, just change the color. That's what is remaining. So spectators, there is now a 9-point gap between UDP and TRV. So for round number 8 and 9, UDP will have to get between an 8-point distance of TRV. Only then they can grab the round number 10 if they complete positions 1 and 2. So that's all set now. The server is logged. And pilots, let's go at the count of less than 5. Super position out there by Hornet. He's proving that he is also good on the takeoff. Look at that. And he's immediately posted himself at position number 1, but quickly dropping away under the likes of DevWeb, Oni, and Crude FPV. Hornet will just have to maintain that composure because it's up to Hornet and Anand to really jump back into this round. And it's a good amount of competition that's really yet to be seen in this track. After this, there'll be 2 more laps coming in. But right now, Dev FPV doing pretty well. And look at that, Hornet FPV trying to break in. So is Anand. But nevertheless, let's see from the eyes of Anand, who is in front of him right now. Right there in front of him is the Crude. Very interesting competition going on there between Anand and Crude. Look at that. Both of them are following each other right now. Anand is slightly behind out there from Crude. And it is actually up to Hornet that he should be able to defeat Crude. But Crude is really, as I said, he deserves position number 3. That's where he's positioning him right now. Dev FPV and Oni FPV virtually in the same spot out there. And look at that, Anand FPV and Anand coming in. And Anand taking out the likes of Crude. That will give a chance to Hornet as well. Look at that, a topple is happening here and there. Can Anand come back and take Oni FPV from behind? It's a very interesting. Oh my God! And Anand gets trapped one more time. That's not good news. That really increases his pace between Oni FPV and Anand. Hornet FPV also trying to do his best shape. Crude FPV trying to do whatever is in his capacity to knock back on Anand. And Hornet and Anand, both of them look like they are poised for a 3/4 victory. But that means that there will be only 1 point now for the team UDP. That will be scored for them. And let's see what has happened over here now with round number 8. Anand has lost against Oni, so we scored 1 point for Oni. Then we have DevWeb has also scored that 1 point, and Hornet has, of course, defeated Crude. So between Hornet and Crude, there has definitely been quite a bit of championship, and Hornet has come out on the top. But look at that position now. That is actually 10 points of difference. So 2 points UDP has to cover now. So that means that they will have to really get all the 3 points out here and also get the next 8 points. So let's see if that's possible. Anything can happen in this game. Anybody can come out on top at the last moment. Nobody knows, but we'll start the race in less than 5. TRV certainly having an upper hand right now, but UDP is also not somebody who is going to give up that easily. Look at that. Team UDP is really coming out on the top. All the confidence led by Anand out there right at the top. Fantastic run out there. We're really proud to see how the boys from UDP are handling so much of responsibility on their shoulders and yet performing point to point, going through the center lines and keeping their lines absolutely close. Oni FPV and Anand. This is the battle championship that we have been also witnessing from a very, very long time. Oni FPV just trying to tackle Anand at his hot tail. Look at that. Anand going through the tunnel once again, and Oni FPV, it will be interesting to see where Oni FPV is right now. He's fallen a little back. Looks like Oni FPV got caught up in that smaller tunnel out there, which gives a chance to Anand to again come through the spaceship, the mother spaceship that's out there. Anand, the FPV, Anand doing pretty well. This is his last lap. He has to just hold Oni at the very, very last moment out here till the very last gate of lap number 3. Hornet is already holding Crude at his spot out there. Hornet is ahead of Crude, and Hornet looks like he's going to come in definitely as position number 3. But between Oni and Anand, it's all the game between Oni, and Oni has taken, look at that. Oni just took over Anand out there. What a fabulous comeback from Oni. Oni at the last moment, disappointing the likes of Anand. Anand will be furious with him right now. He will be banging his remote controller at the moment. What happened there? An absolute chaos, and Anand was held to his absolute brink and coming back to position number 2nd. Nobody expected, but Oni, as I told you from the start, he really punches in when it really matters and comes back. So let's score it in for round number 9. And Oni FPV has won against Anand. Crude FPV has won against, Hornet has won against Crude. So that will be the only 1 point satisfaction that UDP will be getting, and DevWeb, as usual, has scored against JK. It's a clean sweep for DevWeb until now. Round number 10, it's 11-point difference, 8 points, let's see, but nevertheless, it's going to make a fantastic last round. Let's go ahead now with round number 10 and see who is going to take in all these 8 points coming in at the count of less than 5. We'll be tuning straight away now into Oni FPV. Oni FPV, a magical pilot. This time he's not leading anything, he's saving all his, kind of tiredness or whatever it is till the last moment. Right now he's just buzzing it all the way because he really wants that 5 points from position number 1. And Anand right now is also coming in behind. Look at that. Anand trying to make some good fairway for himself. From what I can see, it's about 8 gates of difference. But look at that. The gate difference between Crude FPV and Anand. That's Crude in the green trail. And ahead of him is Anand. So let's watch Crude. We will get a hang of Anand's tail out there. So that is Anand right in front of Crude. We are tuned into Crude right now. And again, let's see from the eyes of Oni as well. Oni is in a commanding position also at lap number 3, far ahead of his teammate as well as Anand from the opposite team. Looks like it's going to be all TRV this time in round number 10. It's going to be an absolute showdown for Team TRV. They're going to finish in grand style unless Anand really comes back and topples it up for a crude FPV. There is still interesting competition going on there between both of them coming back into their last gear. Look at that. That's going to be quite an interesting competition. Fantastic run between both these pilots. Wow, it's an absolute thrill to watch these two pilots in action, and let's not miss it. It's going to be these two pilots, and look at that. Oh my God. And Anand has really covered it up in that tunnel, and this is where races actually topple over. But this time it's not going to make a difference because Oni FPV has already won against Anand, and Crude has just managed to win at position number 3. So we'll count it up as points 5 for Anand, for Oni, and then in the second spot, we have 3 points for, yeah, it's Anand. So we'll be giving Anand 3 points. So that's the distribution at the moment. And the final score as it ends on our screen, as you can see, 24-11. Congratulations, Team TRB. You deserve quite, applause, and also all the best for your semifinals that's going to come up. Let's see where the race schedule is right now. You are qualified into the semifinals on the 19th of September on Saturday Night Live, 9:30 p.m. against the Hyderabad Hellraisers. And very, very interesting to watch. And also before that, on the 12th of September, it's confirmed that the next semifinal is going to be between ZDR and KKR. So that's what we have so far this week, viewers and pilots. It was a fantastic, fantastic competition, excellent race night, a different track. Hope all of you have enjoyed being with us over here. And we also enjoyed quite a bit of this race, and it ended in style. Thank you once again to all our sponsors. Thank you once again to all the viewers who have given us a tremendous feedback. And do remember, go to IDRL, droneracingindia.com, and you can also participate in our season 3 that's going to come up. SAH season number 3 is going to come up, and new teams will be coming in. So if you have a team, if you're from a different city that is not represented as yet in SAH, then make a team that is at least 3 pilots in strength, and just enroll for season number 3. And that way you can be eligible for lots of prizes. This time we have so many prizes that are going to come in for SAH champions. In fact, a lot of these are going to be distributed amongst a lot of pilots in season number 2. We have 10K cash prize plus 8K from gettbs.in, plus there are going to be the edgy LRC stacks that are going to come in. All these goodies are going to come in, and the champions and the pilots are going to enjoy all of these prizes. So wait until the finals, and wait until SAH season number 2 is over, and then we'll be starting with season number 3. But till then, download the IDRL app, join in, and also get your team city in. No matter where you are in India, form a city on behalf of your team, and enroll in SAH number S3, and that way you can participate. But for now, for tonight, is the end of the game from here. Join us next week. ZDR it is versus KKR. Zion Drone Racing take on the big boys from the Kalinga Krakens, and it's going to be an absolute thriller. Big teams competing out there. Let's see who gets into the finals. Till then, it's all over from our studios in Mumbai out here from the IDRL Theatre, and we wish you all the best and a very, very good night and very sweet dreams. Thank you very much, and see you next week. All the best. Alvida. Thank you.